Tadvaram Paryaya Vidmahe Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guruः Prachodayate Om. Om Yoga Maharshi Dr. Swami Geetananda Giri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Welcome back to another session, our 66th session of this morning efforts to keep the yoga as much as possible part of ourselves in these times of crisis, not just the COVID, but the whole crisis that humanity is going through when we cannot respect other human beings as human beings. Until and unless humanity can respect each other as a human being, until we understand that every life is valuable and every life is priceless, until and unless we understand there is no hierarchy in living beings. The life force, the prana, is the same in all of us. The moment we acknowledge that, the moment we are grateful for that, the moment we connect with each other, that is the time. That is the time when we truly become human. Yoga is essential if we are to be human. Because unless we can connect with ourselves, can we connect with others? If we cannot understand ourselves, can we understand others? If we cannot value our own self, how do we value others? Being human is based on value, respect, gratitude, love, compassion, and those are the essential qualities that we must build if humanity is to be the best version of itself it can be. Anything other than that, we will fall very short. We cannot be subhuman. We have to be human. We have to move into our humanity by being humane and grow into our divinity. That is the message of yoga. A message that comes from within, that don't look for answers outside. All the answers are within us. And it is based on qualitative analysis that understands quality in life is more important than quantity. Can you value each and every person who comes into your life? That is what Namaste means. I bow to the divine in you, irrespective of your color, your religion, your language, your economical or geographical or political division. All divisions are human made, not natural made. Divisions are human made. Can we bow to each other and say Namaste, Namaskara? I bow to the divine that I witness in you. Forms may be different, but can we bow to that? Can we have reverence? Can we value it? Can we respect each other for that amazing divinity that lies in each and every one of us? 2020 is going to be a watershed year for humanity. Really, 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 we are being tested. Are we worthy of being human? And every day, the question becomes bigger and bigger. Because instead of rising to the occasion, we are letting the crisis bring out the beast in us. We are letting that crisis bring out the subhuman parts of us. That is why the yama niyama of yoga start with ahimsa, being non-violentness. That you cannot even have a sense of violence towards another living being, whatever your hierarchical structure tells you. Every life matters, be it human or non-human, because the energy moves in all of us. When we start respecting each other, when we start having that heart-to-heart connection with one another, we will grow in our humanity. Coming back to something which I wanted to work on yesterday and got sidetracked into my Nada Yoga session yesterday. I had wanted to actually work on Brahma Mudra. And I feel this is one of the most important practices. In fact, later this afternoon, I should be recording a session for my dear Larry Payne's classes at starting day after tomorrow. Yoga and healthy aging and yoga for the above 50, the prime years. And I think one of the most important practices which I'm going to introduce, and I always introduce, is the Brahma Mudra. Because as we have already seen in these sessions, it enhances our perspective. It enlarges our perspective to include others. Most of us, our perspective only includes us, nothing but us. There's no space for anyone but us. Few of us, we expand our perspective, us and our family. And then it goes a little wider. Can we expand it so it is a universal perspective? When we can expand our perspective to be universal, it is at that point that truly our perspective will be that of reality. Till then, it will be a distorted version, distorted by the kleshas. And that is why in the Brahma Mudra, each time we move away from our central perspective. Yoga is all about a central perspective. Extremism is not part of yoga. Fanaticism is not part of yoga. Yoga is the golden mean, the path of moderation. Yukta. The concept of yukta is that yoked middle path. So every time we move away from our perspective, as we breathe in, but then as we breathe out with the sound, we come back to our own perspective. So once to the right, once to the left, up, and then down. 4 directions. 4 is the number of stability, as those of you who are signing up for my Yantra course will learn from Friday onwards. 4 is the number of stability, structure. And that is why 4, what it does is it helps us enlarge our structure so that our structure is not a small box. Your box becomes so big, there's no box anymore. It's a universe itself. So what we are doing is we are moving away from our perspective, but each time we are coming back to becoming established in our own perspective that now includes other perspectives. You are expanding your perspective so that your perspective includes the right, the left, the up, and the down. What you are trying to do is have this multi-dimensional. It is like those cameras that give you that 360-degree picture. Something like that. That is what Brahma Mudra is doing to you psychically. And then the bijas are. Is the guttural sound, a sound of beginning. As we say, all languages begin with A, to my knowledge. It's a guttural sound, diaphragmatic. That is why it is said creation started with Then O, which is a sound at the chest region, where now that which started is getting contracted. And then it comes into the E. What is the E? The E is the uplifting sound. E is the sound of the higher senses. Ikara, E. And then comes the Makara, which is a sound of satiety. So you have the beginning, the foundation. You have the contraction, the manifestation. You have the upliftment, and then you have the satiety. 4 beautiful sounds, bija sounds. A, U, E, and at the end that satiety. That is santosha. In the yogic parlance, santosha, which is such a beautiful concept of the niyamas. Because it is only through santosha that sukha can occur. It is only when you have contentment, it is only when you have serenity, it is only when you have a sense of satiety that a sense of ease can be there. As long as you are discontent, there will be dis-ease. And that is why santosha, anuttama sukha labha, Patanjali tells us. Through santosha, unparalleled ease, which is the peak of health. So join me as we perform the Brahma Mudra, a practice which is an essential practice for the neck, health. And remember, what does the neck do? It brings all your sensory impulses. All the information of the senses comes up to the brain through the neck. So it is the bridge that brings the sensory information to the brain. And it is the same bridge which brings the motor commands from the brain down to the rest of the body. So the sensory and motor function of the whole body depend on a healthy flow of energy through the neck. That is why it is an essential practice. It is a very essential practice, not just for neck health, but for overall health, so that your whole nervous system is working as it should. Sensory motor, sensory processing, motor responses are occurring in a beautiful manner. The interplay between the accelerator and the brake, between the opposites, so that you have a sense of balance. Right? Okay. So bringing your hands either onto your thighs or the yoga mudra where you clasp the hands together with the fingers clasping. Right side dominant. You want to be balanced, but you want active balance, not passive tamasic balance. You want a rajasika, sattvika balance. Okay? Now with this in mind, let us start to breathe through your right, breathing in. Breathing in to the left. Breathing in, lifting your head up. Breathing in, bringing the chin down. Breathing in, turning to the right. To the left. Breathing in, lifting the head up. Let us do it one more time. I'm just enjoying this practice so much, so put up with me. Let's do it once. Breathing in to the right. To the left. Breathing in and lifting up. Sit still and contemplate the beautiful harmonious vibrations that now have been opened up, the channels of flow that are opened up by this practice. enabling all the sensory information from the whole body to come through the neck and come to the brain where it can be processed. And all the motor commands from the brain centers coming down through the neck and reaching the parts of the body they are to reach and do the functions they are supposed to do at the best optimal level of function. The whole sensory motor functioning enhanced through the practice of the Brahma Mudra, the gesture that enables us to attune ourselves with the principle of creativity itself. Removing any distortions, removing any blocks, so that that creative impulse, that cosmic impulse can move through us and we can be the best tool for those impulses to flow through us. Excellent. This practice is always a wonderful practice for me because what it does is it enhances a very beautiful component which gets affected as we age. And we may not age in heart, but the body ages because the body is governed by the Pancha Mahabhuta, the 5 grand elements, so it must decay. The body has no choice but to decay after some point. It's that curve, parabola curve, that the initial part is all the anabolic growth and then all is the catabolic decay. And that's sort of basically the life history of all of us. But the concept of remaining young is very much related to the heart center. And this heart center is the center that is very much to do with a sense of youthfulness. The heart center is the center where we can let go of the stresses and be ourselves. And the more heartful we are, the more heartfelt we are, the younger we feel. And that is why a closed heart is often a sign of premature aging. It is important to open up the heart. Now, this is not being said in some sentimental way, but this is being said in a way that we need to understand that by closing up, what we are doing is limiting ourselves from our potential manifestation. And that is why it is so important to open up. The heart is a beautiful symbol of a giver, and the heart constantly gives. That amazing organ that keeps on pumping blood throughout the body from the moment it starts to beat till the moment it stops beating. Constantly serving. That is why the heart is a 4, and the 4 is the number of karma yoga, the yoga of seva, of service for others, a selfless service. And that is why when we can be selfless, when we can serve others, see, people say, then what happens to me? Well, when you serve others, you will get served automatically. And that is a life lesson I've learned many, many times. The more you give, the more comes back. The more you serve, the more comes back. And also what you put out comes back. So let us do a beautiful practice where we are going to be stretching up into the Anjali Mudra. Okay? And then as we breathe out, we are going to be making the sound. As we bring the hands back to the heart center, the Anahata. Bringing an awareness of all the energies of the cosmic centers as you breathe in. Where is the ending now? At the heart center. A sense of satiety, being at ease. Breathing in, reaching up into the cosmos, into the causal aspects where the R starts. Join me as we stretch up. Again, breathing in, a nice healthy stretch to the whole spine. once more. Nice healthy stretch to the whole spine. We will be closing. Before we close, I thought I will lead you through a few rounds of our chakra pranayama and our chakra dhyana that we have been doing. You remember, as we breathe in, we visualize and we experience the pranic energy coming up from the first center, the Mooladhara, rising up as if in an elevator to the Agnya. We'll be adding the held in breath, so I'll be giving in 8-4 count. So 8 to come in, 4, then 8 and 4. Earlier we did 6-3. We are trying to extend the practice a bit more by the 8-4. Okay? And then after some rounds of this, we'll be breathing in and taking the breath just above the top of the head. Okay? And at that point, you let it go. Then you visualize this beautiful 1,000-petal lotus opening up over your head. There's a nice video on the net of me doing this, and we superimpose some nice lotuses on my head and other things. It's a nice artistic video of the chakra pranayama that you can find, the chakra dhyana, in fact. Okay? So sitting in an erect position, breathing out. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Be aware of the centers as you breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold at the brow. 3, 4. Out. Coming down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the base center. Hold out. 2, 3, 4. From the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the brow. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Coming down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the base center. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in from the base. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At the brow center, hold. 2, 3, 4. Coming down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the base. 2, 3, 4. Coming up. In. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, and now go above the head, and just at a point above the top of your head, release the breath into that space above the top of the head. A very beautiful space representing the cosmic centers. And visualize a beautiful lotus opening up, 1,000 petals. A very beautiful sense of a violet lotus, sometimes a little pinkish, and a very beautiful, amazing lotus up there. A lotus of energy opening up to the light within. Just as a lotus in a pond opens up to the sun when it rises, the lotus of the Sahasrara, the 1,000-petaled energy center, opening up as the energy flows into it, coming alive when the petals opening up, enabling all the connections to open up and be fully functional, enabling our potentiality to manifest as a reality. While in that center, just let the bija sound of the Om reverberate. Gently begin to move your fingers and toes, rubbing your palms together, generating a nice warmth, placing the warmth over your eyes, the forehead and the head. We'll be closing with the Shanti Mantra, and I just wanted to share what I shared this morning with you. It is from the heart, and may we all be heartful human beings. That is my prayer. And for those of you who have signed up for the yantra, you should be receiving some information hopefully by this evening or tomorrow with some handouts, and I'll be creating the Zoom link for you. Those who have not yet registered, please register today, because I will not be taking any new registrations from tomorrow onwards. For the simple reason is I am not after the numbers at all. I just want to make sure I can give to the best of my ability, and so I want to make sure I have things organized and I'm not running after people and after things and getting things done at the last moment. Friday is going to be a very long day for me. Already 5 speaking assignments are there on that same day, plus starting the yantra, so I don't want to overburden myself on that day, running around trying to figure out who's yet to get the link. So let's do first things first and do it now. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu sarve janaha Sukhino bhavantu. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Om